Tools. I wanted to talk about
Yeah,
tools, and there's lots of people use Copilot and ChatGPT and Claude, and people think some are better than the others. Do you think it matters?
I think what matters more than anything is picking one that works well for you and sticking with it for a serious period of time, and not just flipping about like every other day, not having everyone on something different. There are definitely benefits to different tools. Like we've tried them all. So I've used Claude more than anything for software development. That's their sort of angle. We've used GitHub Copilot, which is also tailored to software development, which has got pretty much any model behind the scenes. That's a bit of a go-to for a
What
lot of
about
development teams.
Copilot?
Copilot,
Copilot, yeah.
yeah. So then there's Google's Gemini, which generally is better for image generation. They've got some video generation tools that Google produce as well. So Gemini is quite good for marketing teams. Then you got like ChatGPT, trying to be a bit of an all-rounder, doing a bit of everything. And ChatGPT works pretty well for everything, but it's clearly not the winner for software development for us. We used to use it for about a year. We used ChatGPT instead of Claude. As soon as we've moved to Claude, it's just everything works way better. The tools are designed for developers up
What do you
front.
think about the open source ones? There's quite a few coming out
So
now, aren't there?
yeah, you can use something like Open Code. It's a similar CLI tool to Claude Code, and then you can connect any model you like. You could host your own. I've had a go with it. You need a beefy GPU in your computer, and you need patience because they're generally a lot slower, and they're just not quite there. I'd say they're about 1 to 2 years behind at any given point. But if you've got a really powerful GPU, you might as well give it a go and see if you can save yourself some token costs.
So do you think for smaller businesses it might? I suppose you've got the cost of installing and ownership,
You've
haven't you?
got hardware costs then. I don't
Is,
think at the moment it's the right move.
isn't it more if like
If
all
they
of the
all
big
put price up.
companies jack up their
Yeah,
prices,
'cause
then
we know they're all losing tens of billions of dollars at the minute,
yeah,
and they're just living on government funding pretty much. So at some point they could jack up the price. It's something we're aware of.
I think they have to,
And
don't they, at some point?
it's going to happen. They're already starting to introduce ads in ChatGPT, and Claude has seen significant reduction in the amount that you can use it. You've got to pay like £150 per developer for the premium tier, and then extra on top of that. So I think at some point open source will be the sensible option once these open source models sort of reach the Sonnet 4.6 level, where it's good enough for most of your day-to-day tasks. Then you'll be running gaming laptops in work to power these AI models, and it'll save you money in the long run.
But most small businesses are not going to be up to doing that, are they? I don't
Not
think.
likely. No, I think the smart approach for most, I think that's for software developers specifically. For most, it's to pick a tool that really works for what you need. So we have used Copilot as well. There are some really specific features of Copilot that I find helpful, which are actually now bundled into what they call Teams Premium. So you can actually have a tool called Facilitator, which is a Microsoft agent that sits
great,
in
yeah.
your meetings.
We used it, yeah, it's brilliant.
That's by far the most useful tool that I've found out of Microsoft lately, because you've got the Copilot button sat in every white space you could find in every program I've ever made. And what we found is that's gone from being this confusing sort of what I got a chatbot in my notepad for, don't really need that, to you've now got this agent that you can ask about any of your files. So I can ask it, what did Martin tell me about this meeting we had 3 weeks ago? It'll search my emails, it'll search the meeting transcriptions, and it'll just produce a report of here's what you said 3 weeks ago.
Well, I just started using Facilitator, so I was, I've been having Teams meetings, and then I make notes, and now it just makes it for me and summarises them. But I don't think I think most users are using ChatGPT for content and things like that, but I don't think people understand the vast array of Microsoft solutions just to help you get things done quicker. And I think it's really hard to keep up with it as well, and they're constantly changing. New things are coming out. I think it's hard for people to really know, oh, I should use Facilitate, I should use this, or, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bit overwhelming, I think.
Yeah, I mean, in that case, what we're using is Facilitator just for Teams, for meetings, and we're using Claude for everything. So we've actually got Claude connected up to our SharePoint, so it can do all of the same things that Copilot can do. And I know you've tested this recently.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, we had a funny thing. It was just me and Tom in the office yesterday, and yeah, you gave me Copilot license,
Yeah.
didn't you? Because I'd not used Copilot, I'd only been using Claude and GPT. And I said, right, okay, here's a use case. I want to find some ballpark commercials that I've sent to a customer fairly recently. And I gave it quite a vague prompt and just said, not the customer's name, just an acronym, and said, like, give me the ballpark commercials that I sent. Not even to the person, just the customer. And yeah, Copilot struggled. It kind of came back saying, you've sent emails to this person, and it's like, yes, and it took like 3 or 4 goes back and forth for it to actually come back, even though it was close.
Yeah.
But anyway, we went through the same exercise with Claude, which is also connected to our SharePoint, etc. And that was much more successful. It did get it in the first
Yeah.
shot, and it structured it much nicer as well than
Yeah.
Copilot. So the reason that was interesting was because you're quite a critic, aren't you, of Copilot? You're not his biggest fan.
Not particularly. I've
And
used it.
but you'd said
Yeah.
this it is good for, to be
Yeah.
fair. So I said let's test
Give
it.
it a go.
And actually, Claude was
It
better
still won,
at
yeah.
that anyway.
Yeah.
So
But we're using all of them. We can chop and change.
Yeah,
But your
yeah,
average
exactly.
person really needs to pick something and stick with it, I think,
Yeah.
and learn to use it. And if there's a better option, I don't think it's a good thing to change.
and
Yeah,
how
not every time, because they'll all compete. Like something might be better for 3 months, and then it's
Yeah.
replaced with the same one.
And they're all
You've
getting,
just moved from.
today it's
Yeah.
the worst it will ever be. It will get better and better. So I think really you just need to pick something as an organisation, stick with it, and learn how to use it.
But how should someone go about picking? Because I know you were saying before that you don't want to spend too much time going back and forth, but
Yeah.
at the same time, presumably you don't want to just blindly pick one because you've read that it's
Yeah.
good on the internet. You want some kind of
Yeah.
trial period.
I mean, it is changing all the time. So
Yeah,
to be honest, I think the right approach is to try them all. Like have an AI champion your side,
yeah,
someone that's really like a power user, trying a few different tools out and seeing which ones work well for what you need. For example, if you only use Microsoft products, you could get away with Copilot. But as soon as you want to connect another tool in, like we do with HubSpot and ClickUp, I've tried it for that. It
Yeah.
throws error messages, it just lags out, it says couldn't connect to your data.
Mm.
And about 1 in 5 attempts, it'll give me the answer. So it does work sometimes.
yeah.
And then on Claude, I just connect to ClickUp, connect to HubSpot, log in, configure the permissions, and then it just worked every time. So that's an example where we use a lot of external systems. We're not completely a Microsoft house. So that worked great for us using Claude because it can very easily just connect to other systems. They've got a whole library of them. It's similar with ChatGPT. They've got a whole set of them as well. I think Microsoft is just a little bit behind in terms of connectability and user friendliness with agents specifically.
Yeah.
It's fine connecting up to your Outlook, your emails, but then as soon as you want to connect in HubSpot, for example, we found it just didn't work.
So
took a lot more time to set up.
So really, what the important kind of take home from that is you need someone who is kind of making the AI decisions and is a little bit in charge. It's not just a free for all. Everyone's
Yeah.
just doing their own thing.
Well, that's the
exactly.
last thing you want, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because then you've got 100 different solutions,
Yeah,
unmaintainable, different licenses, and just completely out of control.
yeah. I remember you joking with, well, I think you were being semi-serious actually about Tom changing from CTO to CIAO or whatever it's been
Yeah, I don't think
called.
that suggestion
Days.
wasn't accepted very well. I
No,
don't think.
exactly. You were like, no, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it is becoming more important for CTOs or
Yeah,
whoever the technical lead in the business
it's just
is.
another tool that
Yeah.
they should be responsible for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't think he wanted to be on an AI bandwagon of
Yeah.
Of,
exactly. Yeah.
you know, we want to use it where we're not
Yeah.
just an AI business, are we? We use
Yeah.
it where it's useful.
We're not just hyping AI for the sake of it, like a lot of people are. It's a great tool that we're using, we're learning.
But if we
to make the
spent
best of it,
50 billion, we probably would be.
Yeah.
To be absolutely fair.
Yeah.